Today, Baba is talking about passing the examination. And Baba says, this is a school. Those who receive less than 33% marks fail. Ram, Sita, and their dynasty are not complete. And this is why they cannot become those of the Sun dynasty. Some will fail because the examination is very high. Earlier, the government had the important ICS examination. Not everybody could study for that. Only a handful out of many will emerge. If someone wants to become a Sun dynasty emperor or empress, a lot of effort is required for that. And this is Baba talking about effort and examination. And first, we have to understand, are we preparing for some examination? It's because when there are students in the school, they always have in their buddhi that the examination is approaching and I have to pass the examination. Now, what is the examination that we have to pass? So the examination is to win over Ravan. So winning over Ravan, because you see, Baba has told us the law that when we lose to Maya, we lose. And when we win over Maya, we win. And every day also we are passing examinations. Yes, so every day also there is some or the other attack of the vices. And every day a Brahmin has to continuously pass in this examination over Maya. But eventually there will be an examination where all the 5 elements of nature and the 5 vices will together come to, shake us or come to, cause disturbance or make us upset or attack us. And then we don't have to get caught up in the illusions of Maya, or we don't have to get pulled by the vices at that time. And we are preparing for that examination. And you see that after passing this examination, we will go to the new world. And in that new world, there will be everything. There will be birth, there will be death, there will be everything, but nobody will be affected by anything. Yes, in Satyug also there will be gain, there will be loss, but nobody will be affected by all of that. The sanskars will be of being ever peaceful, ever loveful, ever joyful, ever blissful. And we have to create those sanskars now. And you see, in the end, this body which is made of the 5 elements of nature and the 5 elements of nature in general and the 5 vices, they will take our examination. So there will be the vice of, attachment, which will take our examination. There will be the vice of greed that will take our examination. So there will be something that will attract us, and someone that will attract us. And then there will be the examination of fear. So when we look at the fierce form of the 5 elements of nature, then there will be this attack of fear. And so many things will go on there. But what we have to do is, how do we pass that examination? If we still stay stable, soul conscious, and in remembrance of Baba, and do not react, so that is passing the examination. And right now we have to, so when you have to pass an examination, what do you have to do? You have to pay attention to study. And here also Baba is teaching us. And our study has 4 subjects: knowledge, yoga, divine virtues, and service. And those who get good marks, more than 33%, in all the 4 subjects individually, they will pass the examination in the end. And if I don't have 33% marks, then I will not be able to pass the examination in the end. And what is the sign of a good student? The sign of a good student is regular study, everyday study. Do you know who's a good student? The one who consistently studies, the one who studies every day, the one who has a timetable. And have you seen that when you were in school or you were in college or university, at that time there were some students in the class who were very intelligent and talented. And there were some who were very consistently studying. And if you look at where those 2 sets of people are today, so the ones who consistently made effort, they are in good positions today, even in the world. And those who were very talented, they are nowhere. And if there was somebody who was talented and consistent, then there is nothing like it. So this is the law, the law of study is consistency. And you see, in the end, Maya will come in the form of papers of attraction and fear. And Maya will come in the form of, attracting our intellect towards people, places, things, food, drink. Just think about somebody who has not mastered the senses. And just think about, if all the food has got poisonous, and then if you have not mastered the senses, then what will you do? You will become attracted to that food. You will be attracted to the water. You will not be able to. So Baba has given us this assurance that even in the end, Baba will fill our stomach in the subtle region. Yes, so whatever food and drink we need, when everything has got rotten and there is nothing of the quality of, edibility, at that time Baba will pull our intellect into the subtle region and will feed us. But what about children who have not mastered the senses? Will they be attracted to, by Baba, and will they take their Buddhi Yoga to the subtle region, or will they be attracted by whatever they see around them? So, if there is water, if there is food, then will you be able to see that and then, have Buddhi Yoga with the subtle region with Baba? And then if there is, if I have not mastered the senses and I see scenes of, bloodshed and destruction, and I have not trained myself to see but not see, will I not be, triggered by what I see? You see, just ask yourself today, If there is a scene of lust or anger in front of you or violence in front of you, then can you stay calm? Are all your senses that under control? Because there'll be so many scenes of, because at the time of upheaval, there is a lot of wrongdoing that goes on, and it will all be happening in and around us. And Baba says, anybody who has any trace of any vice. So, one law that we have understood from Baba is, when we see something outside, when we hear something outside, then what gets triggered inside is my own vice. If I have a sanskar of vice, then that vice will get triggered when I see something or hear something outside. And if I don't have that vice in me, then nothing will get triggered. So ask yourself, what is your stage? So we are practitioners. We are always, abstaining from seeing and hearing and, being in environments. I remember there was this one mata, and she went to a marriage in her family. So there was somebody getting married in the Lokik family, and then she went to attend that marriage. And in that marriage, she danced like, that like it was, there was no tomorrow. And that dance video, when it got some good views on the social media, and then when we also came across it, and then I told her that we saw your video, and then I told her, I have never seen you dance like that. There have been Baba's functions, and I've seen there are so many occasions on which, somebody has presented a dance, but I've never seen you dance like that. So she said, I don't know, sis, Didi, I don't dance since 10 years. But in that environment, I got so carried away that I danced and just. So you see, if the environment is able to affect you so much, if you start talking too much, if you start dancing, if you start, gossiping, if you start, crossing your maryadas, if you start disturbing your timetable, then what is the degree of viciousness inside you? Just check. So vices make you a slave. And if we are, so when we talk about the end and we talk about the final examination, then only those who have no trace of any vice will pass in the final examination. Because if there is a vice inside you, if there is any trace, any sanskar inside you, then there will be so much of trigger outside that it will emerge. Yes, if there is a tendency to go into right and wrong and become, upset and judgmental and talk about what is fair and what is unfair and who should do this and who is not doing their duty, and you go into these things of right and wrong and into justice and injustice, then what will happen in the end? You will start thinking about, who is responsible and getting upset about them. Or, if there is fear, then fear will be triggered badly. So there will be fear of loss of every kind. So just think about what is your state right now, and how much are you affected by situations and behaviors, and we right now we are, we are very so right now we cannot even imagine what situations would be. I remember, there was a power shutdown for some time in one locality. And then there was a sister in that locality, and she said, Didi, when there was no electricity for 2 days, then I realized how much I was affected by loss of electricity. And she said, I could never imagine what are the instruments that fail. So she said, even my security camera not working because of the Wi-Fi not working affected me so much. And I felt like I cannot see outside because I have this habit of looking into the screen and checking, what's going on outside. And she said it affected me so badly. The everything was connected with Wi-Fi and it was not working because there was no electricity. And that time she told me, Didi, if somebody had told me that you would get so affected by a power shutdown for 2 days, I would say, no, I'm a BK and I have too much resilience and everything. So you see that we cannot prepare for the end time by rehearsing for it, because we cannot even imagine what the end time would be like. And we cannot assess how we would behave in that time by just thinking about it. So how do we prepare? What is the preparation that we have to do to pass the examination? So the only preparation is every day, my chart of knowledge, yoga, virtues, and seva, that is consistent. I cannot think about, I cannot think about what will happen. And there's somebody asking, what is the sign of scoring 33% in all the 4 subjects? So you see, if your chart of knowledge, yoga, virtues, and seva every day is minimum 33% despite everything, every day, without fail, if this chart is, because when we are practicing, then Maya doesn't come in the form of 5 elements of nature and this and that. That is not called Maya. That is Maya in the end. But right now, what does Maya do? Maya will not let you prepare, because Maya knows that if I don't let them prepare, then in the end they will fail. So every day is my chart of knowledge 33%. Am I in churning of knowledge for 33% of my time in the day? What is 33%? 8 hours. Got it? That is why Baba says 8 hours of yoga. 8 hours of, practice of soul consciousness, churning of knowledge. Yes, at least 33% of the time, I have to ensure that my behavior was divine. Yes, and the rest of the time, at least human. Yes, not like 33% it was divine and the rest it was devilish. No, even if it was ordinary, for the rest of the time, at least 33% it was divine. Sweetness, politeness, respect, soul conscious vision. At least everyday chart has to be 33%. And 33% of my day has to be seva. Yes, and it could be in a Lokik setting, it could be in an alaukic setting. But are you in that attitude of being an instrument and doing seva? Yes, and then in the subjects of body, mind, wealth, yes, check 33%. Yes, so if that is my chart, then I will win at the end. Then, I will have enough power, because knowledge, the power of knowledge, the power of virtues, the power of, the power of divine sanskars that I've created, the power of yoga that I've created. You see, those who have sanskars of keeping quiet, even if somebody shouts at them, they will say, I can't shout. I can't shout, because that's the sanskar they have created. So, have I created divine sanskars? In the end, those sanskars will come to my rescue. So every day, think about what is your chart of knowledge, what is your chart of yoga, what is your chart of divine virtues. Yes, Baba, every day you see in the chart, it is mentioned. You see, all these subjects are mentioned. It is mentioned how much did you study, how much did you remember, Baba, did you give sorrow, take sorrow. Yes, so no giving sorrow, no taking sorrow. And my action should be full of divinity. And Baba says, Seva also. And Maya will stop you in that. Yes, at this time when we are doing Purusharth, many children, they make a mistake. They try to gauge their Mayajit stage by checking whether they were stable today or they were non-reactionary today. Yes, but being non-reactionary is not enough. At this time, in the time of Purusharth, being Mayajit means you have this, and you see, why are we even talking about 33%? That is just pass marks. What position do you want in Satyug? Do you want to just pass and go, or what? So Baba says that every day, don't just think I was stable all day. Maybe you are stable all day because no situations came. Maybe you are stable all day because you are the one in authority in your workplace or in your home. And that's why nobody dares to, cause obstacle to you. So being stable is not the only sign of being Mayajit in Sangam Yuga. Being Mayajit in Sangam Yuga means constantly maintaining the chart of these 4 subjects. And when I'm consistent in these 4 subjects every day, not even one single day I should miss. Because do you know that if I miss one single day, then I don't have the capacity to cover that up the next day. Have you seen that when we used to go to school, then one day you miss school and the next day you feel that was everything taught yesterday only? Because there's so much of study that happened in a day that you're not able to cover that up for the next whole week. And just think about, if I do not maintain this every day. See, today, if I'm not able to maintain the 8-hour remembrance chart at least, then tomorrow will I be able to do 10? Not possible. So Baba says every day you have to maintain your chart. And only then can you ensure that in the end you will pass. Because in the end you will pass because of your stage. Right now we have to pass in effort. And this effort will create a stage. And in the end we will pass because of that stage. And that stage will ensure that nothing attracts us, nothing makes us afraid, and we are able to be in Baba's remembrance and leave the body. Because in the end, there is nothing to do. There is just this state of being with Baba, being in remembrance. Yes, so this is what Baba is telling us about the examination and passing the examination, and at least 33%, then we pass. And pass means we go to the Suryavanshi clan. We go to Satyug. Going to Treta Yuga is fail. Baba says, when we belong to Baba, we will go to heaven. But if 1250 years have passed, one whole yuga has far passed, and you go in the next yuga and you have studied from Baba, then it is a shame. Baba says that is equal to failing. So this is something that Baba is underlining today. And then today Baba is reminding us that when we say Om Shanti, it means I am a soul and this is my body through which I act. And Baba urges us to be soul conscious. Baba is underlining the practice of soul consciousness all day. And you see, soul consciousness is, so many people, they struggle with their mind, their intellect, their sanskars. But you see, Baba says that the soul is the master and the consciousness is the key. So when you're soul conscious, your mind is automatically peaceful. When you're soul conscious, your intellect functions well. You can distinguish between waste and samarth or productive in a second when you're soul conscious. When you're soul conscious, your original and divine sanskars emerge. And when you're soul conscious, you're naturally able to remember Baba. So the most important thing is being in soul consciousness. And you see, we look at this body so much. Why are we so body conscious? Because we look at this body so much. Yes, so just measure one day the amount of time you spend looking at yourself. Yes, and you see these days, even when you are, just see, even if you are shutting down the video, you're looking at yourself in the video. You're not allowing another person to see you. Yes, but you are looking at yourself. Yes, and Baba says that this is all body consciousness. Yes, and this is how this is, and in earlier days, people used to not have mirrors at home. There are many people who thought that keeping a mirror is a bad sign at home. And that is why they were able to see themselves as people. They did not have the knowledge of the soul, but at least they thought about themselves as people. But these days, there is so much of body consciousness. And earlier, if you had to click a photo of yourself, you had to ask somebody else. But these days, you have selfies. Yes. And then there are so many things that people are doing. So Baba says that we have to understand that, and this is just one aspect of it. And then you see the amount of engagement we have with what we have and what we do, and who we think we belong to, the bodily relations, everything is body consciousness. And Baba says now you have to practice, and practice. That I'm just a being of light and I belong to just one Baba. And I'm here and I have to take the directions, take the virtues, take the powers from Baba and play my role. Yes, and you see, there are many times people think that you have to think about people and situations, and so that you can respond appropriately. But in order to respond appropriately, you don't need to think about people and situations. You need to think about who you are, because you are the one who will respond. And if you are in touch with yourself, if you are in touch with Srimad, you will respond appropriately in every situation. So there is no need to think about the body or the bodily relations or anything that you do or have. Baba says, whatever you have to do, that whole part is filled inside you. Are you even getting it? See, the soul. See, Baba says that whatever you did, whatever you're doing, whatever you have to do in future, that whole part is recorded inside you. Yes, and that part you just have to enact. But I think that I will enact my part according to people and situations. No, those, when you get caught up in people and situations, then you actually do not enact your perfect part. But if you remember who you are and you are in remembrance of Baba, then you will do the appropriate thing at the appropriate time. And you don't need to understand situations and people for that. Yes. I remember, there was this one time, and I was having a fever. And there was this one brother, and he was sharing his problem, some problem in the Lokik family with his wife. And then I could barely focus on the problem because my physical system was not okay. But I was soul conscious and I was in Baba's remembrance. And I just told him Gyan. I just told him, just practice some yoga every day and just sit in remembrance of Baba and just send good wishes to the soul. And he thanked me like anything. And later on, after many months, he started being regular and he started coming to class. And then I realized that, the problem and this, so Baba says that, in medical science, there is different solution for different problems. But here, for every problem, there's the same solution. Yes, so even when even if there are problems in and around you or in your drama or in anybody else's drama, what you have to do is the same thing, that which Baba says. So why are you knacking so much of brains? I remember there was this one Mata, and she was going through some challenge in the Lokik family, and then she spent so many days in that struggle and everything, and then she came to the center and she said, Didi, what should I do? What should I do? And I said, just remember Baba, have soul conscious drishti. And then she said, this is such a good solution, and why couldn't I think of it? And I told her, you don't even have to think of it. Baba is giving that to you every day. But the thing is, we are always, this body consciousness makes you feel that since you are an actor, you have to act according to the situation. But Baba says, no, you have to act according to your part, and that part is embedded in you. And that part will be activated properly when you are soul conscious and in remembrance of Baba. Baba says you have all sanskars, you have a full part inside you. But when you're soul conscious and you are in remembrance of Baba, that complete perfect part will play out. And this is why Baba says you are the actor. If the actor is in the stable state of being himself, and the actor is in remembrance of the director, then the actor will act well. And the actor is supposed to be soul conscious, in the consciousness of the actor. And you have to know you are a hero actor. You have to know your powers. You have to know your virtues. You have to know who is with you. And just be the knowledgeful, loveful, powerful self that Baba is creating out of you. And when you do that, then your part is the best. Okay? Om Shanti. Anybody wants to share anything, please do.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
Yesterday I read Avyakt Murli book, Avyakt Mahavakya of Bab Dada. In that book, it was mentioned that elevated thoughts and will lead to elevated actions. And first we have to start it with thought level also, because thoughts are vibrations, direct vibration of a soul. And whatever we think and churn all day, and all that is responsible for our this kind of vibrations and weaknesses. And we have to we can't keep check on every thought, so we practice soul consciousness.
Correct.
This is what I
Yes.
read yesterday.
Yes.
And Baba also said about why we cannot have dharana in some areas. It is because we don't do manan, that's churning. And manan, what we have to do in manan, that also Baba said in that. In Amrit Vela, you children, remember Baba and your good 7 qualities and 5 swarups that Baba has told us. And all those thoughts which will give us umang and utsah.
Correct. Thoughts of
And
happiness.
these kind of thoughts and planning of the day in this way, Baba told us. So, and one more thing Baba says, best method of manan is murli. Every sentence has to be churned.
Yes. Yes.
And go into the depth, whichever point we like.
Correct.
And this is very good practice, Baba said yesterday.
Yes. Okay.
Thank you. Om Shanti.
Hanji Nirmal Bhai, please. Unmute yourself, please. Hanji.
Okay, Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
And today Baba say that the foundation of faith is we should have a very strong faith. Then only we will be victory. The foundation of victory is faith. Therefore, when we have strong faith, then we will be carefree. And therefore, to have the faith, I think faith is related to self-respect, and also at the same time, we have to see we have a strong self-respect. If we don't have the strong self-respect, we won't be able to do much about it. And therefore, what I felt that self-respect is the most important aspect. Baba has given so many self-respect. We have to see one by one, and we have to be powerful in that one. Then when we have the faith, then we should have also we should have the faith in the self, and also we should have the faith in Baba, and also we should have the faith in the drama. Baba say, "Va drama, va," and therefore we have to keep all these things faith. Then only we should be able to have the victory. When we have victory, then we will be carefree.
Correct.
Then the other one, Baba said that today that he is a number one actor. When Baba, God has come and with us, he is our father, he is our teacher, and therefore we should have a lot of happiness. And therefore he is the teacher, and therefore as his children, then we should also be able to have equal to the father. Then we should be number one actor, and therefore we have to be very happy, and this should take us to do our part, hero or heroine. It should be in very well, yeah. Okay, Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Om Shanti. So Baba says that our faith in the drama means that in every scene we are able to say Va drama Va. Yes, and when we say Va Va, everything becomes Va Va. Yes, so when this is the law, when you say Va drama Va in every scene, so you see there is this one Mata, and nowadays there's this cylinder shortage. Yes, and she couldn't book one, and then there was that cylinder got over. And then yesterday she called me and she said, Va drama, va, we had salad today. So salad in Baba's remembrance. So you see, this is Vaha drama Vaha. And Baba says, ultimate benefit is you claim the highest position. And that benefit will happen to those who are able to see Vaha drama Vaha in every single scene. Okay? Om Shanti. Yes, Rajni Ben wants to say anything? Hanji.
Yes, Om Shanti.
Om
To today's discussion, got it that if we are in soul consciousness, everything will be the perfect.
Yes.
Our responses will be the perfect.
Yes.
But our mind will, मतलब जो thoughts आएंगे, that will be the perfect, and intellect will get the perfect results, a perfect decision we can take, and as sanskar will become nice.
Correct.
So ultimately the result will be the perfect.
Yes.
But main thing is the be in the soul consciousness all the time.
Yes. Thank you. Okay. Om Shanti.